All right, hello, hello, hello. We are rushing to starting positions right now. Welcome, everybody. We're back to Stream 2 of Sloan. So, some stuff happened between the first stream and the second. There were two other minor sessions that I was able to attend. Down in the Undercity, some magical stuff happened where a whole bunch of people were seemingly made unconscious as their souls left their body for some reason. The bodies were brought to the clinic where Sloan had tended to them, and after a bit, they all seemed to wake up at the same exact time. It was a bit of an odd thing. Hello. Turns out that a whole bunch of people had gone into a portal following a necromancer person that is in charge of the zombie stuff that was happening last time. And Sloan is not entirely sure of what happened there, but he helped tend to all the people and, of course, charged them for using the services of the clinic. Aside from that, Sloan has enlisted a fixer down in the row, someone responsible for making secret little mercenary groups to do missions for the corpse. Oh, there we go. Official start. All right. So, between sessions, Sloan has been working on doctoring up some footage to help assist for a run that he has going with these mercenaries. There's a mission that potentially may or may not happen today in the Upper City that he's making some contingencies for. But today we are expecting another visit from our sovereign that we're doing work with, Mrs. Genevieve Constantinou. And in addition to that, I'm actually able to ask one of the DMs immediately about that contingency plan. Sloan is making fake footage of a conversation that never happened. Alrighty. So, he's currently whipping up the footage now, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, you got a lot of the like footage and audio clips you want together, but right now you are having a big difficulty in trying to make it sound natural. It
Okay.
just sounds super like unnatural, somewhat roboty.
Okay, gotcha.
Some of the frames of the video will skip around. Like you're not getting anywhere right now.
Alrighty, needs more work. Alright, thank you. Bloody thing. I suppose I'm not an editor. Well, I suppose I should go check on my, compatriots. So yeah, we got a little bit of a few things to do today, a bit lined up. We'll see how any of it pans out.
There are many other places that have some very
Good morning.
plant life. Morning. How are you this morning?
Fairly well. I've heard that we're going to be getting some visitors today.
Oh, wonderful. Business is
Indeed.
booming.
I would also like to make some follow-ups with our friends over at Talaris with various projects.
Hmm.
Of course, I agree.
Have you heard if
Quite a
Dr. Mason
avenue
will
for
be in
profit,
soon?
I'd say. I had heard they would be here today, but they might be running a bit late.
Aye, I see.
He has a lot of paperwork. Especially
Indeed.
with this new virus and stuff, making sure everything's prepared and mass producing a cure, so to speak.
Aye.
So it's been a busy time for us here.
Indeed.
Indeed. Our technician's been quite busy as well. The latest rendition of the project looks already very, very close to the final result. Just need the suit for it, and we should be doing pretty well. Just maybe a few finishing touches.
I see. Excellent work. Is it currently on display?
At this moment, possibly. Not entirely sure. Good look, I guess, since the lab's just a hop, skip, and jump away.
I suppose.
Guards at the moment as well. I'll have to put in a request to get a guard out there, I suppose.
Aye.
It is busy around here after all.
It would seem not.
Well, we'll have them fetch it when it's time.
Aye.
It seems our lead technician is also perhaps not ready just yet. Must have clocked in. Unless they're over here. They've just yet to arrive, that's all.
Aye.
Hey, Renegade, Stefan had to leave suddenly.
Huh? What?
So you're
You-
not gonna have a
you
technician
mean-
on whispering.
You mean Joseph?
No, I mean Joseph. Sorry.
Oh.
I was like, he's right there. Alright, well, we can just. We've already explained how it works and what it's made of and stuff.
Yeah.
We can just say he's
Yeah.
there, giving a spiel.
Yeah, I can grab the synth avatar.
The
on
biggest
me,
thing is
so-
just the synth. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, you need that. I need to step away for a moment. Be right back.
Very well. Perhaps we should head outside. Ah, beautiful scuff. How fares the progress on the pills?
I'm not sure if you saw my report I put up, but it was
Aye, I did.
victory.
Certainly, it will need further refinement.
Trials need. Yes, of course.
But you have done great work.
Thank you. Yes, also I'd like to meet with Talaris with you in order to further that project.
Indeed. I would say that we should do that right away, but I'm not sure when our sovereign friend will be arriving.
Is that our visitor today?
Indeed, one of two.
Yes. I'll go inform the technicians that it's go time.
Speak of the devil. Good morning, Miss Constantino. Please, step
Morning,
inside.
How are we doing? Hello there.
Progress is coming along
Haven't
swimmingly.
met you yet. Happy to hear that.
Oh, it's
Remind
a
you-
pleasure.
And your name is?
Dr. Zass.
Oh, all right. Genevieve Constantino, pleasure to meet you. Shall we?
Indeed. This way, please.
Nice to see you, Dr. Harper.
I believe that things should be ready right down here.
Oh, lovely. Looking wonderful.
Indeed, even without the final suit, it does look quite convincing already.
It is indeed exquisite so far. Very pleased. Very pleased.
Wonderful.
I was a little worried with the first iteration, but I mean impressed. But this
Yeah.
is much better. In such
You
quick
always have to start
progress
with the
as
basic
well.
core and build upon. Shall I activate it to show you the more or less motor functions of it?
I would love an example.
And activate.
Unit online.
Oh, very lifelike movements as well.
Indeed. We have put much effort into making sure that it is as most lifelike as possible.
Well, it seems that my funding is going towards some very promising progress. How
Indeed.
much does the unit weigh?
Miss Harper?
It is not as heavy as you would expect, but it is heavier than a typical person's weight. They'd just be a little bit denser. So normally a human about this size would
Diplomatic
weigh
answer.
maybe 100, 120. This is about 160 with the lightweight super alloys. So it's a little heavy, but not enough to raise suspicion. Though of course we do have to have
Closer
some weight
than
to
I was thinking,
retain
though.
some durability.
Of course.
Indeed.
Yes. Keep some rigidity on it. I can tell it's very stable as well.
And light is flexible and light is fast.
Good to know. Excellent. Very, very pleased.
We are making great
Indeed.
strides.
Now, how are we doing on funding? Do you need anything else? I haven't seen any more memos necessarily, but I do see that you are gaining quite a bit of assets and do need more room anywhere else to be.
Well, I believe that we are all fine on that front, but I did have a few things that I wish to speak with you about.
All right. Happy to answer.
Namely, number one being, I'm sure you recall back in that meeting with Atlantis and Quixote, that you were asked as to what your intentions were with these androids. I would like to know if you have come up with an answer.
It's not that I need to come up with one, I have one. But it's a matter of whether or not I wanted to reveal it in the present company. As Quixote was so rudely brought into the meeting, but
Indeed.
there is point. Yeah, it's not that I don't mind sharing it, but is it that Talaris minds sharing it? Is the real question. And right now, you know, I wouldn't bat an eye if Augustine was still in charge, but Miss Anessa is an important asset, and I do not want to lose her trust. Do you know about their projects over there, by chance?
To which ones are you referring to?
Little bit about, well, it's definitely a new avenue, having to do with synth. ring any bells to you?
I've heard a whisper here or there.
Now, once again, I will reiterate, I don't foresee these being products, and this is why I generally do not mind sharing. It is for me, for personal use.
Indeed.
Regardless of the amount of money I spend on it, it's important to me.
I see.
But we can discuss avenues of where it could be used otherwise, after it has been proven to be a valuable, end goal,
Indeed.
as it were. Now, Atlantis wasn't exactly friendly or willing to cooperate in the ways that I thought they were, simply because usually you can grease the wheels with a little bit of credit. Or a lot of it for credit. And they weren't nearly as interested, I thought.
Aye, well,
But that remains to be seen, as I do need to talk to them, but they have not been in for the past couple of weeks.
indeed. Conrad seems to be a busy fellow.
Now, Miss Harper, have you been able to get in contact with him about the project any further?
With Atlantis? No. They've been fairly scarce.
No, I guess
He's
the
been
next
quite
question
busy
is,
with
do
it
we
from time to time.
Aye.
do we find that this endeavor can be done without them? Personality and identifying behaviors and whatnot.
Perhaps.
Perhaps we can collaborate with someone else.
I do have a thought as to that avenue. Saniti just recently had a new AI specialist, I believe they're called.
Yes. Dr. Valentine. He might work out, actually.
Indeed.
Really good idea, Sloan.
But before we proceed down that, I did want to pick your mind on a certain subject. Back when this project was first started, I was not in the position that I am now. But had I been, I would want to ask if the purpose of this is to perhaps replicate a certain individual. Why go for a synth when you can go for something more authentic? We here at Nirvana are masters of the physical form,
You certainly
and
are.
in certain regards, flesh can be better than metal.
In certain regards. But for my case personally, not so.
I see.
Perhaps I could answer these questions a little bit better knowing what Miss Anessa would like revealed and what she would not.
Very well.
Maybe we could set up a meeting with them.
Perhaps. I don't see why not.
You're on planet for a little while longer, or we can meet next week.
We could perhaps check in now.
Sounds good to me. Which should be, your progress is so quick. Once again, excellent, excellent. That
Aye.
it would be good to start talking to her now.
Very well. Without further
And then
delay.
perhaps we can stop by Saniti.
Aye, that too.
Alright, shutting them down. And
And
deactivate.
not to be rude, but the change in position. Why was that done?
Well, as acting head of security now, I can assure you that my methods are much more efficient, and optimal.
More aggressive. I got it.
In some respects.
But I am very happy to hear you're still involved. Dr. Zax, do you do anything on this project?
No, this project is out of my expertise, but it's been remarkable watching my colleagues work on it.
Isn't it wonderful? Well, lead the way.
Very well.
Goodbye, lovely Sin. If Miss Anessa can meet, I almost think that she would be very interested in seeing the project today as well. If
Perhaps.
you don't mind.
We'll see how they
The
respond.
contracts ironed out. Yeah. Oh, so close. Preference on where to first, Mr. Sloan?
Well, I suppose straight to Tolaris, though I would like to collect one of my colleagues before we head out, if you'd wait but a moment.
I can do so. Thank you.
Will either of you be accompanying to
Do you need us
Tolaris?
to tag along? I mean, we can if you wish, unless you wanted to handle it.
We wouldn't tell the crowd, thanks.
Perhaps. I do wish that you would come as well, and perhaps not in the same meeting discuss the matter with Tolaris further. Of our other project.
Oh, yeah, the other thing. I can stay here for medical reasons if need be.
Aye, I think it would be a good idea to keep someone stationed here.
Very well.
So.
I'll post up in the clinic.
Excellent. Very well. We have Dr. Zax accompanying us. This way, if you please. Well, this is certainly a situation. Stuck in a meeting with two people Sloan hates. Sovereigns and a Tolaris.
Busy project, huh? Oh! Is that her there? Hello, Miss Anetta.
Goodness gracious, what is going on here? Alright, then we can work out the paperwork later.
Good morning. Would you perhaps have time for a meeting?
I would love to, and I would love to bring you into the boardroom, but sadly, we are a bit tied up at the moment. An explosion just happened, and now we're trying to figure out who the perpetrator is. We have camera footage, and we need to start investigating.
I see. If it
Could
is
my
a...
voice be of any use to you today?
A few extra hands.
For I
wouldn't
do
hurt.
wish to talk to you soon, so the more that we can help, the quicker this can be done.
Of course. We are looking for, if I remember what Cross said correctly, a shorter gentleman, or ma'am, brown hair, wearing black.
Hmm.
And putting it into the data. Affirmative. Understood.
I would like detaining more so than execution. After all, I would like to understand why.
Do you hear that, you two? Be gentle.
Weird. Affirmative. Heard it.
Have something to do with your malfunctioning gate?
Yes, there was an explosion outside of it.
Now, you did case the inside and make sure they're not currently still inside, yes?
Yes, Cross went in and checked every single nook and cranny.
Lovely.
Should we head out now?
But where's our first clue? Do you need a deca or anything?
I don't remember Cross saying anything about any other attempts besides the explosion, so likely they've fled into the rest of the upper city. I'm not sure where, though.
Well, I'll certainly put a notice out to the rest of Nirvana.
Thank you. The more eyes, the better.
Now,
Looking for them as well.
I do believe Cross is potentially still inside securing assets, or in this... Actually, let me double check on that, because... Cross, are you out searching, or are you still inside? Good, understood. Alright. Continue to search. Searching. It's
aye.
Well, all right. Well, we'll let you regain yourself if need be. And either
If
we
you
can
would,
go to
that would be
Sanity,
most helpful.
and I can go up to the ship as you boys can be down here and help. You have,
Understood.
your... Pardon me, I grabbed that from you. I apologize here. You see it? There you go. Awesome. One of them is very talented at decking, so... That can happen in the future.
And then we fan out. Go in opposite directions. See if we can find them. Split up.
Very well.
Unless, you need to meet now, but...
No, that will not be necessary.
But I would like to meet. So, let's get the show on the road. I will be taking a glass of Chardonnay up in my ship. Escort me to the shuttle, dear.
Understood.
Have a good day.
I'll see you in a bit.
Oh, you too.
Just to be clear, taking a life was a suggestion, correct?
I think it was something that they wanted. So could you please not end them? I'm
believe
trying to
it's
make friends
possible.
here.
If it's possible, yes, ma'am.
Yes. If it's possible, yes. Until most circumstances are. All right. I'll be in the ship. I will be on the radio.
Understood.
Goodbye, Mr. Sloan.
Have a good day.
Alright. Let's move. Let's get to it. You go left, I go right.
Well,
Or the opposite.
it would seem I have my wires a bit crossed.
Either works for me. I'll take
Yes.
right.
I had thought that we were going to Sanity for the meeting.
Well. Hickory, maybe, we should expect you to handle that alone, just to
Perhaps.
let
I
them know
certainly
what's,
can.
what's coming.
But perhaps let's see if we can set up a meeting with Nirvana ourselves. Aye, Dolores.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, hello.
Hello there.
There's so many people here today. Alright.
Right?
And who might you two be?
I am Welby Sloan, acting head of security for Nirvana.
Security, Nirvana. Alright. And you?
Dr. Zax, also Nirvana.
Alright. Well, I am the new governor of the Galactic Union. I am Aspen.
I see.
Yes.
Well, in any event, Miss Inessa,
Yeah.
when you have a moment after this has been resolved, I would like to speak with you.
Very well.
You can contact me on Radio 25.
You
Make
go
your
ahead
touch
and
base.
speak. I'm gonna go. It was a pleasure meeting both of you. I mean, four of you. All four of you, yes.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that great? Union's back in town.
I don't mind him.
What
He's
is
a
it?
little quirky.
Perhaps. In any event, have a good day. We'll speak later. Back to Nirvana.
Take care of you both.
I may make a quick hit stop at Woto, but it should only take a second. I can meet you back in Havana.
Aye, very well. Well. What a pose. Well,
What's that about?
there was a explosion in front of the Talaris building, so we were unable to make our meeting. They're currently looking for the
Why?
perpetrator.
Yeah,
Believes that they had said,
Lars actually came here right after you left, saying that someone sabotaged your gate. Short, brown hair.
Aye.
I've been keeping a lookout, but no one's really come by. Except for, Dr. Mason, who just entered the building. Went to his office.
Ah.
He's going to check up on the production and possible beginning of distribution of the antifungal cure.
Very well. Dr. Zax made a quick pit stop at Wodo.
Ah.
I'd also set up for a further meeting later with Talaris once they've resolved their various ongoings.
Yes, they've been having a lot of problems lately.
Indeed. We'll also need to speak with Suniti at some point for a follow-up on several matters.
It's pretty bold to have a bomb up here.
Indeed.
There's Dr. Zax now.
Hello, it's interesting. I ran into Cross from Talaris at Woto. Apparently Woto has also been attacked.
Interesting. We should be on alert.
Aye.
I agree. He's going around the other corps now and alerting everyone. Come here quickly.
It's very troubling.
Has HDR been contacted?
Mr. Sloan,
Yes, I'm here.
new information has come to light. The perpetrator is a tabaxi,
I see.
about the same height as the Woto representative. All of the other details still match. Black clothing, brown hair.
Isn't it?
I
I
see.
figured that would help in narrowing the search down.
Indeed. Thank you for the heads up.
And as, of course.
Harper. I have checked the records, and it seems we have enough to distribute for the upper cities so far. As for the rest of the city, row and such, it'll take about a week to produce more. But for now, we have enough for us in the upper city.
Excellent.
That's good. We can proceed with phase 1 then.
Well,
Very well done.
Well, Let me know when you want to proceed with distribution.
Indeed. We shall see how events play out.
There has been a recent development since you just left. Apparently, there has been attacks on both Talaris and Woto, and we have identified the person as a Tabaxi, about the Woto representative height, and they have black clothing, and was it brown hair?
Aye.
So,
Okay.
let's be on the lookout for this person.
I see. I have to be right back then, okay? 1 second. I have to be right back.
Very
I'll
well.
check something.
Very well.
I will inform you when I'm back. What is our radio, by the way?
25.
25.
I'll be on there. Thank you. But I'll be right back. I have to sort through some paperwork real quick.
Now, as far as future matters, I believe he is accidentally raising his voice. Dr. Zax, I would like to put you in charge of, at your earliest convenience, seeking out Mr. Cross and following up and seeing if more progress can be made on your project.
Of course. He was quite busy right now with the attacks.
Aye.
Seems to be
As soon as things clear up,
I'll see if I can catch up with him. Yes.
I'll be having a meeting with Miss Anessa herself on a separate matter. In addition, Miss Harper, could you perhaps head to Saniti and see if Dr. Valentine is in?
Very well.
And whilst that is happening, I have a matter that I must resolve in my office.
Very well. I shall head to Saniti.
So, I will return shortly. Indeed. Sloan's a busy man. Alrighty. So now we're going to follow up on a bit of a case that we had going on.
Hey there.
Although, Sloan is now going to look into the matter with Rin.
Alright. And Rin is not here in person, correct?
Yes.
Alright. So what are you specifically looking at?
So, Sloan is going to look at, through their medical records, see if anything pops up, and also their, ID and reason for being on planet.
Did you get an ID off him, or what are you?
Just general information of what's in the overall file system.
Yeah, you are not able to find anything. There is nothing in your databases about him. Then again, you don't really have a lot of information about him to go off of in the beginning.
Okay.
You feel like, if you feel like if you actually had him here in Nirvana, you can probably get more information on that.
Alrighty.
Or in a Nirvana certified laboratory or medical clinic.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Curious little creature. Hmm. I suppose I didn't know what I was expecting. Hmm. Whilst I have time, I might make a quick drink stop. All right. Don't mind a little bit of ASMR. Stay hydrated. All right. All right, what else we got? Okay. Perhaps we won't be as busy as I originally thought today. Hmm. Well, it's at least good to know if they're doing their tasks. Perhaps I'll make a quick pit stop to Wodo. Grab a bit of breakfast. Oh.
I was not able to meet with the Sonidi rep due to them being currently in a meeting, but I did have the guards relay that we would like to have a meeting with them. So I assume they'll be coming by at some point.
Very well. In that case, I feel as if most of our tasks for the day are going to be waiting.
Seems so. I suppose we could wait at Saniti if that's an option, I suppose.
Perhaps. Though it may be advantageous washing for this brown-haired creature.
Yeah. I don't know if you had heard, but I did get more information out of Skylark that they were actually gas bombs. Still very dangerous, but...
Aye.
I'd originally thought it was explosives, which I thought were even more ridiculous to get up here into the upper city.
Indeed.
I'd like to know how they're smuggling those.
Curious. Have they had any more sightings of the individual?
Not that I've heard. Though, leaving Wodo, I did hear something interesting in that Wodo was summoned to Union Tower? It's unusual in its regard.
Aye.
I suppose maybe Union's being active at the moment, which is very unusual.
Indeed. What did that... Although, you weren't there. I did have a brush-in with the new governor, I believe. I didn't quite catch their name.
Ah, the governor.
Aye. Seemed a very flabbergasted sort.
That fits the description of governor, I guess.
Aye.
So we're currently waiting for a meeting with Talaris and waiting for a meeting with Saniti.
Aye. We're also waiting for Miss Ayla to make it up here as well.
Indeed. So, did the Sovereign just go ahead and leave then, I suppose?
Aye.
So I assume that the whole Sovereign meeting with them will probably have to wait till next week.
Indeed. They went back to their shuttle.
Probably for the best if there's an active bomber around.
Perhaps.
It's quite curious, though, what a Sovereign would want with a personal humanoid mech.
Indeed. Especially with Talaris involved.
I agree. At least they were able to share that. Whether that's the truth or not, we did get something out of them, which is kinda nice at least, so we're not completely in the dark.
Indeed.
So I assume you were heading to Saniti when I caught you?
Aye, I was actually going to make a quick trip to Woto. Grab a little bite to eat.
Ah. Yeah, I just came back from there, because I figured it was so quick to go there to Saniti that I went and just got lunch. Before anything would happen with this whole bombing thing. Before you don't get a chance to.
Aye.
I'll hold down the fort while you go have lunch then.
Very well. Goodness. Pink. Regular, please. Well. Okay. Indeed. Cube. All quiet at Wodo. All right.
That was either a quick lunch or something bad happened.
Just quick. It was very
Oh,
empty.
Indeed. Because I assume the Wodo is still at the Union Tower then.
Aye.
What with gas bombings being around, having to be so quick, could have been something bad.
Indeed.
It's pretty quiet in town when you're waiting for everyone else to finish their meetings.
Indeed. It's either chaos or peace.
No in between, it seems.
I suppose that's fairly standard for a doctor.
Yeah. Though typically it's a lot more peaceful up here unless there's a rogue robot or AI decides to shoot everyone.
Aye.
This must have really happened up here lately. Or that cyber wraith. They're still around. Oh, there's Wodo.
Hello? Have you seen any union representatives around by chance?
I saw one at Talaris about 10 minutes ago.
Okay, they're probably at Suniti then.
Well,
Peculiar.
indeed. Very odd for Wodo to be looking for the Union, unless of course they asked them to attend the meeting and were not there.
Yeah, that's also weird. Because I did hear loud and clear the guard relayed back that they were needed at Union Tower, so not
Aye.
sure what happened there unless that too was gassed. I don't know. I suppose Dr. Zax might be at Talaris. Unless he's in the clinic.
Perhaps. Suppose at this point it wouldn't hurt to have a look.
Very well. Where to? Talaris or the clinic?
Suppose we should check the clinic first.
This is Zax at Talaris. I believe I just witnessed someone walk into the Talaris gate. If Echo would like to come round.
Well, speak of the devil.
Is that question?
Interesting. We'll be along shortly. To Talaris.
Indeed.
So you saw an individual. Hello.
Apologies. Seems everything keeps coming in the way. Didn't realize it was a
I
guard.
hope you don't. I hope you
By all
don't mean
means.
I called for backup thinking it was another intrusion.
Thank you for the thought. I am sorry that you both had to come here and it be nothing.
Aye.
Now then, shall we continue on and go see about improving this process?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm not sure if you two would like to sit in on the project we were
Aye.
talking about.
I'll accompany.
I could mention that thing I was talking with you earlier about the possible element of that problem.
Yes.
Very well then.
Wonderful.
Greetings. If you have a moment, I'd like to set up a meeting. Are you a representative to Lars?
I am. I would ask if this meeting could take place in perhaps 20 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on how long.
Certainly.
Wonderful.
That sounds perfect. And while I have you, Nirvana folk here, I'd like to possibly set up a meeting with you all once you're available after. If that is something that is
What is the purpose of
able to
this
be
meeting?
penciled in. Regarding a friend of mine who's not doing very well.
Do you require Nirvana medical services?
If possible, it's something that may not be able to be fixed, but if there's anyone that can fix it, it should be Nirvana, correct? I hope.
Aye.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I will let you all continue.
Hi, I am a representative from the Mid-City Union of Snails Contractors, looking for the owner or CEO of Tilaris. Is that you?
I am the current representative right now. Yes.
Well, Solaris is the hotspot, it would seem.
So if we can wrap this up very quickly, that would be wonderful.
I'll do real quick. Don't worry about it. I'm just here doing the daily checkups on any construction businesses that need to be done here in front of your area of the city. Any important business that needs to be done, or talk to my superiors about whatever this is.
The gate's been exploded.
Gate's been exploded.
We have someone working on it already. It's fine.
Okay.
Cool. I'll report that, because usually it's my workers that'll probably work on that. Anything else important that needs to be fixed immediately, or is gonna bother you in the future?
Nothing else that I can think of.
Okay, cool. Alright, cool. And other than that, we'll get some Wodo employees come on over and fix your stuff per contract and per your security to make sure they're not mucking with things and all that jazz. Other than that, I'm contracted to say, have a Wotoloi Cubular Day. Have a good day, ma'am.
You as well.
You're adorable.
We have people from Suniti coming to fix it at some point, hopefully. And
Speaking of which, Suniti's just right
Who employs those?
If you see a short,
Who employs those?
brown-haired person with black clothes.
Wodo from what I heard.
Like, you know the representative from Wodo.
I see.
That could be a clash, but oh well.
I've never really seen the union repair workers before.
It would make sense.
Well, then,
It explains the speed of some
before
things.
anything else shows up on my doorstep, shall we?
Indeed.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Where to?
Over to Nirvana.
to make this quick since it seems you're extremely busy over at Dolaris currently.
Apparently. I didn't expect to be this busy today. I just had a few meetings I was planning. That's it. But by all means.
Let me just pull up my notes quickly. Yes, I mean, we've already talked about it somewhat at Nirvana here, but obviously the pearl you provided us that was supposed to last some time, unfortunately, only lasted just one enchantment. I believe Harper had some ideas.
Hello, Nirvana. This is Dr. Mason. Apologies for being a bit gone. I'm back.
Yes. I did have a idea, with me being a herbalist. I do know that Corvinus 3 is quite magically imbued, and as such, there are quite a few spots with some fauna that may indeed have magic in them. So, if we could take some of the fibers from them plants that would have magical residue in them, put them in the pills themselves, perhaps we could lessen the strain on the catalyst, making it more efficient.
Another possibility of potentiality with that would be using the fibers themselves to help sustain the enchantment further, or maybe even enhance it.
It certainly wouldn't hurt to
Interesting
try.
thought. That it would not. It does sound like a promising possibility.
Hello again, everyone.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
If you would like to potentially try that route and have that experiment done, by all means, that would be an interesting step in a very interesting direction.
Very well. It'd be nice to actually do something herbalist-wise, since I've been here.
Too many desks? Fair enough. Well then, I do believe the first extra test should be a direct source of enhancement instead of just a subsidiary or an intermediary via stones. Do you have a sample available?
Of the already enchanted stuff?
Pre-enchanted.
Yes, we made quite a few just in preparation for these trials.
Wonderful. If I could see one, hold one, maybe.
Yes, of course.
This is for the which project is this for? The enchanting the medicine or making the
Aye.
body?
It is for the magical medicine.
He'd hand you a small pack of
I see.
just small pills.
Okay.
Let me know
See if
when
I can do
you're
anything
ready.
with these.
When you're ready to distribute the fungal medicine when the time comes.
Aye.
Indeed.
In this case, these would be antibiotics. Just we're trying to start off small, rather than put a lot of magic into something too dangerous.
You know, actually, maybe a single pill first. Just to see if the process can be done before going too far into too many. Spirit. They do love their good times sometimes.
Eh?
Let's going to try and use this pill.
Jim here.
She is attempting to infuse a pill with magic.
Well,
Okay.
much like the last time Nirvana had tried to do this, you'll begin to put your mana into the pill and start feeling an immense backlash and drain onto you. However,
Just gonna drop the pill.
you do feel as though the energy is redirected into your rune instead of your own mana pool. And your rune is no longer usable for the day.
That is bizarre.
What happened?
And that's now useless.
Oh dear. What happened?
It was, interesting. I tried to make a direct infusion. It backlashed onto me and into the room.
Is that some
Something
kind
about
of
the plants being used
magical
maybe.
vacuum?
Maybe, or perhaps something in the mana is being rejected by something in the plants? My next thought and query would be to retry a different mix with these magical plants you suggest, and then go from there.
Yeah, perhaps the plants that already have magic in them would make good sponges for magical intake and retake.
Perhaps.
Indeed. That is the thought. Though with this combination currently, I don't think I can do much of anything. Apologies. I thought that would turn out a bit differently. Here you are.
Thank you. I'll be able to study on these regardless. It's always good to learn something, even if the outcome isn't ideal.
Indeed. I'll have to find a place to toss this aside. Wonderful.
Now, on to other matters. Was there something that you wish to discuss?
Yes, so since we have enough of the fungal meds to distribute to the upper city, I believe we should do that. Is the fungal zombie still a problem in the upper city and other parts of the city, or no? Or was the
That is something that I wish to discuss with you. We here at Nirvana would like to know more about the details of this fungal and spread, as well as the out-of-body experiences that happened a few days ago.
Ah, yes. Well, mostly. What had happened was, a necromancer had spiritually returned and was raising the dead.
I see.
One moment.
We had some information that was a necromantic source.
Aye.
Yes. And, I swear to God. Yes,
Busy
I
day.
heard you loud and clear. I am currently having a meeting with another corporation. I will likely be returning to Lars soon if you need to find me there. As I was saying, the necromancer was resurrecting himself, started summoning some undead, or resurrecting undead. As for why they were the way they were, likely he was resurrecting from the corpses in the Shadow District, which is heavily populated by fungal spores and different variations of fungi. It
I
is
see.
not uncommon for some undead there to be raised with spores in them, and they can be a bit iffy and very contagious, but thankfully the matter's been dealt with, and the leftovers have been cleaned. So, no further infections should hopefully spring up in the Undercity. As for the
Very well.
out-of-body experience, that is difficult to explain. Imagine your soul leaving your body, but you not being dead. You still look the same, you still feel the same, but you are in a realm entirely unknown and foreign. That is what happened to the most of us down there. There was a portal that was opened, the necromancer went in, and we gave chase. Our bodies fell to the ground, our spirits went in.
Right.
And there, we took care of him, to say the least.
Permanently?
Yes.
That's good to hear.
Honestly, I feel a little ashamed for letting this happen to the Undercity in the first place. Or to be not as vigilant because I've been so everywhere recently. Which is why I'm hoping to have more guards and more of a Talaris presence down there to peacekeep and make sure no other threats happen.
Indeed, Nirvana is also able to assist in those matters if you wish.
That would honestly be very wonderful.
I do believe we have a clinic down there.
Indeed.
From what I heard.
Could you check that, Miss Harper?
Indeed.
Now, before you head out, I had one last matter to discuss. One between just the two of us, if you would not mind.
I would not mind at all.
This way to the boardroom, please.
Of course.
Perhaps this would be better suited in the office. Now, I'm aware that you're a very busy woman, so I won't keep your time very long. But I had a simple requisition. First, I would like to know that I have heard of anti-magic, as it were, and anti-magic fields. Does that itself count as some form of magic still in that space, or is it a absence of all magic in that area?
It is not a specific field I am that knowledgeable of, but I do know a little. And from my understanding, which may be flawed, mind you, my impression of it was a magic that removes magic.
Aye.
Mana reacts to will, and when a spellcaster wills a certain effect, the mana responds. So, a caster who can effectively use anti-magic or create an anti-magic field is asking the mana to be left away from that space.
I see. So, if there was a zone of anti-magic around a person, would magic be gone from that area?
Yeah. And if anything, say perhaps a, to sound a little cliche, a fireball were to be launched at said person, it would reach the edge of the area and likely curve around or simply be nullified.
Very well. In that case, I would like to, just between the two of us, requisition the production of a personal anti-magic zone that I could wear on my person.
I can make no promises, but I will look into a possibility of such. Perhaps a rune like I had for myself.
Would that rune generate some sort of magic from it?
Yes, the runes are They're essentially a... how to really explain this? A spell is inscribed on the room. A will of what the caster wishes to have happen. The body runes, for example, are protection. Should we take a hit, it will absorb instead of us. What you're suggesting could potentially be a rune. Simply
I see.
wishing the rune to emit a field of anti-magic. I see it as a potential possibility, but that is not to say it could prove entirely unable to be done with runes, in which case other fields might have to be sought after to replicate the effect. But
I see.
I could start working into it, and looking into it, and potentially find a way to do so for you.
Very well. I would definitely like it to be more of a complete absence of magic in the area.
It would. That would be entirely what it would be capable of doing.
Excellent. That is all that I wish to discuss. Thank you for your time.
Of course. I will make a note of it, and I will put it into R&D of sorts, or, well, actually, I'll try and handle it myself personally, just to keep secrecy.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that.
Of course.
Now, I'll guide you out.
Well, thank you. Hopefully there aren't 12 more people at my gate when I return.
Indeed.
Hope. If not, then maybe 5. As a rule of thumb, in any occasion you and yours might obtain one of those undead, head, decapitation, or a shot.
I see.
The most surefire way to stop them, as helpful advice.
Indeed. I'll definitely take that into account. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wastelanders spoke to me about it one time.
Again, thank you for your time. Have a good day.
You as well. Have a good day.
You as well.
I will try.
Well,
Hope conversations went well. We were just talking about distributing some of the antifungal medicines. If it really is not much of a problem anymore, I don't believe that we'll need it up here for
Aye.
zombie infections, but we could always distribute it down to the Undercity. One is preventative,
Before the
two,
word
in case
spreads.
that-
perhaps.
Get those panic
and
cells.
plus, there's always the fact that, as she said, the Shadow District has a lot of those fungi. There's more than just zombie infection. There's other needs for those. So
Aye.
it'd be good
These
to
will be my
distribute the
current
medicine that we
orders
have from the
regarding
Undercity
the
here.
distribution. There will be samples to be distributed to the upper city, mainly to be kept at Nirvana in case of emergency. Aside from that, I simply want samples stored at each of the clinics in the lower tiers of the city. But aside from that, I would like it to be kept hush-hush.
Very well. So keep the information on these fungicide medicines a bit secret for now.
Aye.
Just distribute them down to the local clinics. Indeed.
I would also like you to look into the effectiveness of being able to reproduce some of the zombie samples.
Reproduce the zombie samples. What do you mean by that?
I wish for you to look into how well it could be reproduced. If it can be done without a host.
Yeah, just because it's done now doesn't mean it won't come back.
Aye, and there's always opportunity. What good is a vaccine if there is no disease to use it for?
Indeed.
There's
In
still
worst
these
case
samples
scenario,
of this fungal spore.
you could just abduct some random slumber, knock him out, inject him with a little needle, and set him free.
Aye.
Perhaps so.
Now, Dr. Zax.
We still have some samples of that fungal spore, right?
Yes, we do. We have the one sample that I would like you to try and replicate.
I'll see what I can do.
And be sure not to accidentally kill it. Try and take a piece of it and use that to reproduce. It would seem that it will be hard to come by more as effective as this necromancer threat has been dealt with, it would seem.
I see.
Now, in any event, how did your meeting go with Mr. Cross?
It's actually he directed me to Vanessa, so I believed he would be the one better suited to AA our project.
Aye. Other than those matters, I believe we simply had the meeting with Suniti to go over.
Indeed.
When will that be?
I imagine they might be free now.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Though they were at Talar, so maybe they are having a meeting with Vanessa right now. Hard to say.
Perhaps. Though it has been a minute.
Well, couldn't hurt to check, I suppose.
Indeed. Let's head to Suniti. Well, things are spicing up a bit.
Check the group chat.
Come again?
When you can, check the group chat, by the way.
Okay.
Maybe.
Of course. Off to Suniti,
The
shall we?
option's there.
Ah.
I would have to guess they might not be in, because I imagine they were taking their guard with them that was stationed here.
Aye.
But, might as well wait.
Indeed.
Actually, I suppose, well, we're not all needed here for this. May just go attend back to Navan just to keep someone.
Indeed. Good idea.
And I'll be working on the project, as you stated.
Aye.
So, should we wait here or perhaps go to Dolores? Then we just have a meeting with them.
I'd say give them a minute. If they aren't here by then, we can go for searching.
Indeed. Oh, I don't know if you saw, but the union representative did make it a presence at Nirvana as you were finishing up with Vanessa. They introduced themselves to us all. And they wanted to give us a radio frequency to contact them if anything would happen, you know, need repairs, basic civil stuff, utilities. But they couldn't seem to remember their own radio frequency. So we'll have to get with them on that.
Aye, that's the Union.
They were very scatterbrained, I guess I would say. Actually, I don't even recall if they told us their name. I don't know, they were very fidgety.
Indeed.
New first day, I guess.
So it would seem. You'd think a politician would be made of sterner stuff.
Indeed.
I suppose Miss Ayla has also not made it to the upper city yet.
No, I suppose not. Hopefully, Dr. Mason can produce some results on that task you gave him. That will give us quite a nice avenue to control a money income, if need be.
Aye.
And would be very easy to distribute. I know
Indeed.
myself, I've seen quite a few drunken slummers just wallowing about. It'd be very easy to take action with that.
Indeed. It's always nice having a ace in the hole.
Always. Or all four.
Indeed.
The more backups we have, the better, I say. OC, I love his comment. We are the Umbrella Corp.
Yeah.
I love it. And back up.
Now, Miss Harper, would you agree with the assessment that I had told to Miss Constantino?
Which one?
In regards to, station.
Station?
Ah, no matter. Well, we've given Sanidi 3 minutes, so I suppose we should go have a look at Solaris.
Might as well. Speaking of Sanidi, do you think they'll be able to come through where Atlantis isn't really willing to work?
Perhaps. That depends on how well Dr. Valentine is at their craft.
Indeed. So we are on, I believe, much better terms with Dr. Valentine than Conrad.
Aye.
Not exactly the most trustworthy type.
Indeed.
And Valentine seems quite easily manipulatable from my experience with him.
I'm glad you've caught on. Wrong place. Whoops.
Yeah, do you know if Sanidi is still here? We last saw them here. They conclude their business?
Yes, they went over Wodo. I met up with them there. And I told them that you guys were over at Nirvana. I thought they were gonna meet you over there.
I suppose one of us could go to Nirvana and one could go to Wodo.
Aye.
I suppose I'll go back to Nirvana.
Very well. Have a good day.
You as well.
Ah. Hello.
Sloan, how you doing?
Would you perhaps have time for a meeting some point soon?
I was actually going to head over to Nirvana to, I heard you were looking for me, so that would be, like, I have time right now.
Excellent.
And a little bit later, my friend here, Mr. Tillman, has some business he'd like to discuss with your doctors. A sort of personal matter, so I would, I'll leave it for him to discuss, but,
Very well.
for now, we can have our meeting, and, we're just hoping that there's a little time for them.
Alrighty.
Lead the way.
Do you wish for me to accompany you with this meeting?
Why not?
Very well.
Apologies, had to gather myself there.
Indeed. Now, I suppose... Aye, the boardroom.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I just got some really bad vertigo. What did you say?
To the boardroom.
First, lead the way.
I've got some vertigo too, oh my. Oh, hello.
Aye.
Hello, Dr. Mason.
We'll be having that meeting with Suniti now.
Oh, Miss Harper. A bit later, do you think
Yes.
you could provide me with some other malt or dead plant fan?
Wait outside
Just
here,
for
I'll be
some
back
other
soon.
projects.
Of course.
I'll be here.
That should be easy to collect.
There you go.
Ah, shit. Let's just press it one at a time.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
I'll have my man wait outside.
Very well. Right this way.
May I ask your name?
Miss, but, Dr. Valentine, Dr. Fortuna Valentine. Not a medical doctor.
William Mason, or obviously Nirvana.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Mason.
Likewise.
Please have a seat.
Shall I call for Dr. Zax?
Perhaps.
On the radio. Dr. Zax, if you're on the radio, please come up to the conference room. We're having a meeting soon.
Now, this isn't too in-depth of a meeting, but there are two matters that I would like to discuss with you. The first being a sort of heads-up for the coming days. Not sure if you're aware, but there is a sovereign that has been frequenting the upper city as of late, a Miss Constantinu. Do you know them?
No, I don't believe I do. Honestly, I've never met a sovereign, and I didn't even know they were in the city.
Aye. They're unpredictable sorts, to say the least. But I'll save it for when they are here to discuss it with us, but there's a project that we would potentially like to bring you in on, specifically regarding your skill set. And as a follow-up to that, on the second matter, how has the progress on this Cyber Wraith situation gone?
Unfortunately, I have to say it's been going depressingly slow. Unfortunately, Suniti is in a bit of a flux at the moment. We've been in bad shape since that accident a few months ago, and unfortunately, I've been having to do a lot of catch-up with that. Not to mention, unfortunately, yours was the only data that was of any use to me, so I'm working from only a small amount of code to work off. So if
I
I
see.
can find anything better, unfortunately, both Talaris and Mars's data was beyond recovery, and Wodo wasn't even hit, so I've heard. So I've been trying to get in contact with Quixote, but they've been cloistered these last few weeks, and Atlantis has been MIA for as long as I've been here, so quite
Aye.
strange considering Atlantis's disposition, but I suppose they have good reason.
Indeed. Do you have any official partners on this project as of yet?
I do have a contractor that I've brought in who has been a little bit of help so far, so that's agreeable. They're currently searching for whatever data they can find, but unfortunately, since there has been no new occurrences of the data wraith, I have been a little lacking. But hopefully, with their expertise, we've been trying to work together to speed things along, hopefully. But right now, we're working on the data gathering stage today, as it were.
I see. Well, I would like to propose, on behalf of Nirvana, to officially join our hand into this project if you would have us. We would be willing to provide our resources to help intensify research.
Of course. At this point, I think we can use all the help we can get. So, yes, I'd be willing to work with your people, and honestly, having your an extra set of servers and resources could definitely help. It's this is quite the threat, and it's not like anything I've ever seen before. So it's been quite a heavy load on our servers trying to formulate something that works against it. I've come up with a plan, but it's honestly with your servers, it actually might be a little easier. But it's a bit of a the right word for this heavy-handed approach towards this situation, but it's it could come in handy if this ever happens again. So
I see.
these data wraiths, say cyber wraiths, they consume and gather data at a exponential rate. I don't think they really care what kind of data they have, so I'm thinking as part of the firewall, I want to produce a sort of bait and switch system in which we have a bunch of algorithms creating a bunch of just spam data available to draw in the virus, because this virus somehow seems almost sentient. Sapient was too far. Sentient. It seems almost like an animal. It's
Indeed.
It's relentlessly going towards what it wants, and it's intelligent. But I think if we can lure it in with that amount of data, we can trap it in a sort of endless loop of consumption. And doing so, we could draw it into, keep it off of the more important data, and draw it towards possibly some sort of server that once there's been an alert that it enters that separated, partitioned data space. We can physically disconnect that and quite literally trap it. That's just wishful thinking, though. With what we have right now, it's definitely going to take some time, but I'm hoping for a miracle, and with your help, Nirvana's help, I'm hoping that'll work. Sorry if I'm getting a little too into the details, but it's, my brain's racing a little bit.
I understand.
The plan is to... Question. So, the plan is to lure in this data rate with decoy data, and once it's in the trap, we quarantine it off.
Yeah, of course. That is also, the spam data should also work as a sort of barrier, sort of a sacrificial barrier within the firewall to keep the data wraith away from any important information, so it doesn't gather and consume it.
I see.
But this is all dependent upon a cyber wraith attack even happening again. It's been weeks and we haven't seen anything, but I wouldn't discount the idea of another attack. So that's the idea. If one does show up, we blockade it with spam consumption, as it were, and maybe lead it to a trap, as it were. Yeah, bait and switch.
Very well.
But I don't know how much it consumes and at what rate. I just don't have enough information on that. So the hypothesized data load might be astronomical. So having more than one set of servers on this could definitely be instrumental.
Indeed. Though I would like to say that as part of this partnership, Nirvana would like 50% ownership of the firewall that is created.
Of course. At the moment, I've made deals with several of the other corporations. They will be getting free access to at least the first iteration of the firewall for their help, even though theirs was less helpful. But yes, when it goes to market, that'll definitely be. I think that'll be appropriate since with whatever help you're giving. So, but
Excellent.
we must put as much resources as we can into this, because from what I've seen, vis-a-vis Mars and Talaris, it's a devastating kind of attack, and especially for those of us corporations who rely so heavily upon AI and synthetics. It could be devastating. I don't even know what happened. I honestly wish I could find some sort of synthetic that was properly infected and left with some recoverable data, because I don't even know how it affects synthetics, and it seems to target synthetics. So I don't know if it could cause them to go mad. I don't know if it has any malicious intent in that matter. I don't know if it just straight up shuts them down. That would be the best case scenario, but yeah, we're working with a lot of unknowns here, and I'd like to make some sort of response to it if I can.
Indeed, certainly. But with that matter now settled in stone, it would seem. What are you going to say?
Oh no, we'll be. I'll be sending my people over in a bit to take the. I'll be sending over the net the required access to connect our servers, whatever you have available to apply to this project.
Certainly.
Yeah, so.
Very well. In that case,
That's all I had to say.
that concludes everything that I had to discuss with you, unless you have anything else for us.
No, I think that's it. If you could keep into consideration my associate, Mr. Tillman, wishes to speak with your doctors.
Aye, indeed.
Sometime today. They're currently at Mars acquiring some protection, but I believe believe they'll be coming here next.
Very well. Thank you for your time.
Before you go, there is one thing. A while back, there was an incident at the night of the Cyber Wraith where a Mars drone was indeed hacked by this thing and it did shoot 2 Mars guards. And I did treat them. One died and one did not. So it can seem to influence the actions of drones, which is very concerning, considering Mars has the super death drone over there that I'd really rather not like see hacked.
Was that the one that was infected? Because I knew he was infected. Sure.
He was having problems that day, but the one that actually shot the other people was a typical flying drone.
I remember that one was called in. Its chassis was destroyed, but its personality core was intact. I unfortunately couldn't get any valuable information on those, but the fact that knowing that it is malicious in that way is concerning and helpful, but thank you.
Very well. In that case, thank you for your time. I'll guide you out.
Thank you very much. I'm hoping this is a fruitful endeavor for the both of us.
Indeed, certainly. To the future.
For the future.
Now, once again, have a wonderful day.
You as well. Come along, we'll head off to back to Suniti.
Perhaps Dr. Zax is on the medical channel. Which one was that one? 19. Take that as a no, then.
Perhaps he has turned in for the night.
Maybe. There's Wodo.
Still no Ayla.
Clinic and just aren't on the radio. Indeed. Did you come from the clinic?
I did not see him in the clinic.
I could be having a bite at Wodo, maybe.
Perhaps.
I have not had anything to eat today, so I'll be at Wodo soon then.
Aye.
Take a quick peek. Peculiar.
Indeed.
Yeah, I can always just do a little round and find him, I guess.
Well. Perhaps not the things that we had thought to get done today, but good progress nonetheless.
Incoming message from Genevieve.
Answer.
Are you guys ready for another meeting?
Aye.
Alright.
Well, I just got a message from our Miss Genevieve, and it appears that we're in for another meeting. Perhaps we should grab Suniti once again.
That would be very good to do.
Dr. Valentine, we got visitors.
My apologies on calling back so soon, but it would seem that our sovereign friend is available for a meeting as of right now. Would you perhaps have time?
Yes, I would. Let me speak to my associates really quickly, and
Very well. We'll meet you at Nirvana.
Nirvana, of course. I'll be there in just a moment.
Indeed. Good luck with your meeting.
Thank you.
Well, the meetings never end.
It seems so.
And there goes Dr. Mason. Aye, just in case, I'll radio in. Dr. Mason, we've returned to Nirvana. We'll be expecting another visit from Miss Genevieve soon.
Hello, this is Dr. Daniel Mason. Is anyone on the radio right now?
It would seem that comms are not working quite right again. Dr. Mason, can you hear me?
Dr. Mason, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
We will be having a meeting shortly at Nirvana with the Sovereign once more.
I see.
Sloan's
I have an update on
communications
Dr.
seem to be
Zax.
acting up. Oh?
Yes, he is. Oh, I'm right here. Dr. Zax is retired for tonight. Workplace fatigue got to him.
I see.
Very well. Hopefully he gets all rested.
He put a message in the group chat.
Very well. We'll be expecting, indeed, we'll be expecting Miss Genevieve along with Dr. Valentine in but a moment. It would also seem that Miss Ayla has been tardy.
do believe before we start I would like to take a check on the project real quick.
Very well. By all means.
I'll be back.
Ah. It would seem that we both possess virtue.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. Hello, hello.
Welcome back.
We're back.
Hello again.
Were you able to get a meeting going with Miss Anessa at all?
Aye. But I do currently have Dr. Valentine on their way.
Oh, lovely. Nice. Be able to talk about the AI.
Indeed.
Lovely. Well, perhaps one of you could fetch Miss Anessa.
Of course.
Do a 1, 2, 3, not it?
Not it. Let's go. I'll go.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright.
Well, good to know. I'm so glad that we're able to meet again. This project really just needs to get going.
Give me 1 second, miss. I'm getting an urgent radio from Express. For now, it's normal. It's just a normal cockroach. Higher than normal radiation levels.
The things the boys get up to when I'm not following them on a certain mission.
Sorry.
Aye.
Sorry.
Cockroaches? Is that what you boys play with when you're not on a mission?
No, we have a report of cockroaches in the city, ma'am.
Disgusting.
Indeed.
Doing a little bit of a volunteer charity work to clean it up, I guess.
I'm not doing that. Unless you tell me to.
No, I would prefer you didn't.
Anyways.
So what is Dr. Valentine, you said?
They are an AI specialist.
Oh, lovely.
Indeed.
Should have thought of them earlier. Not you, me. Well, I didn't know, but Atlantis really grinds my gears, if I do say so myself.
Aye, I'd agree on that front.
To work with.
Well, I suppose there's no use waiting out here. Let's head inside.
Thank you.
Shall I wait here and await both Dr. Valentine and Anessa?
Aye.
Very well.
Now, will we be able to display the unit again?
That is a good question. I'll check in.
found me missing just some cautionary gear.
Very well.
But yeah, the samples will be put away.
Going on, it's not necessary, but
I would say not at the moment. The facilities are currently in use.
it's alright with me.
Alright, Dam's here, what's up?
Well,
Never mind.
Got it.
how's it going, Hans? Alright, sounds good. Ines is on her way, dear.
I suppose we can have a seat inside.
Greetings.
Hello?
Ah,
Hello.
Have I met you before?
I don't believe we have met. I am Daniel Mason, virologist with Nirvana. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Genevieve Constantino.
Miss Genevieve Costino. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello? I'm so sorry to have them fetch you like that. I know you're busy today.
It's fine. Most of the headaches are dealt with.
Shall
welcome. Indeed.
So, the reason that I wanted to have a meeting with all of us here, and I know that some are missing, but there's no point in continuing the meeting if I do not talk with you as first. Now, we know what you and I have going on behind the scenes with this project, but I didn't want to explain it without, to them, without your blessing first, considering that I do want to keep on a good level with you. You're not Augustine. You're worth respect.
I am not.
But
Thank you.
I know what I am including into this whole project. But the sooner we are able to coexist, the better the gears can grind. If that makes sense.
Indeed. Well, I do not mind. If you share my heart.
Lovely. Now here's the other thing, is that Suniti will probably be joining us instead of Atlantis. I was quite disappointed with my meeting of Conrad. And I have learned that the good researcher that will be joining us shortly is professional in AI. And I think that we could use that instead. If we don't have to
That
work
would
with
be
Atlantis, I
best.
really, really wouldn't like to. So,
Agreed.
that is another thing that I would like your blessing on exposing some, it doesn't have to be all, of your information.
I
If
am fine
anything,
with
you
some.
can do the talking.
I feel like it's your project, essentially. You would have the board.
Perhaps.
For some. Well, why don't we just talk a little bit without Dr. Valentine here first, then?
Indeed.
So,
Definitely have.
while it is not perfected. Miss Inessa has gained the knowledge of how to put a soul inside of a synth. I know that you've heard some rumors, but have you heard that one?
I have not.
I know that you're a smart man. And just from that simple statement, I'm sure you're able to evaluate and come to the conclusion about what I want done with your synth.
Aye.
And my synth. And why I want it to look like that. And look like me.
I see.
I have a very, wonderful ability granted to me by my spirit. He is shy at the moment, but he's always with me. But his gifts come at a price, and that's 5 years of my life. Every time I have a wish granted, if you will, I lose my life force. But I don't lose my soul energy. One day my body will die. I've already lost 30 years of my life through doing it. I want my soul put into your synth with an AI exactly as my own.
I see. It is certainly quite the undertaking.
But you've been proving well.
Aye, we have been putting in all the groundwork. Nirvana gets done what you ask. But I would like to posit, are there any side effects to this transition?
Well, that's why it bothered me when Atlantis wanted to make it a product. This is not for anyone, or everyone. This is for those that are very deserving. And if I do say so myself, as the coordinator, I am deserving.
Perhaps.
But the side effects of the soul, I am not quite sure. That's something we are still researching on their end. Your end is going swimmingly, and soon we'll be going to Samiti. However, we do still need to make the core. And I have a plan for who that can be. Something powerful enough to contain a soul energy as strong as my own. And I think that within the synth it needs to have realistic expectations within real life. And I have someone in mind. But first,
I don't mean to be testy, but seeing as how this is a partnership, I do not appreciate the keeping of such secrets of matters of importance of that level.
I've gone to Suniti, and it appears Dr. Valentine is still in a meeting. I will update when we are on our way.
I would like the name and status of this individual.
Now getting to those.
Understood. Dr. Alice Harper?
He lives in the row. Richard Bartholomew.
I see. Why him?
But I would not approach him yet. There are a few things I need to confirm for him.
Indeed. Why him?
The reason is that I really do not wish to be within cahoots of Quixote. And they are very good at producing energy, but I know for a fact this man is as well. And I did mention previously about the Uvarian girl. And that's where we get the convincing in.
I see.
Think that he will be convinced lightly. I do apologize, Mr. Sloan. Once again, this is the first time that we have met since the project began. I did not mean to come across as sly.
Indeed. I simply wish to make it clear that A project is only as worthy as the money behind it, and the money in front of it.
Well, there will be plenty of money to come from these things.
Indeed.
For the right people. But I'm sure you can understand the problem of letting it be accessible to the masses.
Aye. I would certainly think that this project should be kept of a highly secretive level.
Unfortunately, there's so many, people that we have to keep involved.
Indeed.
But those we can manipulate are easier. Such as Mr. Bartholomew and the Eupharian.
Indeed.
Where is that Suniti doctor? You know... Perhaps you can fill them in.
Question, are you speaking about Dr. Valentine?
Aye, we are currently waiting on them to arrive.
Yes, we got an update from Dr. Alice Harper. They seem, Dr. Valentine still seems to be in a meeting of their own, unfortunately. Seems to be caught up by other business.
Is Miss Harper still at Suniti?
Let me ask Dr. Alice Harper, this is Dr. Mason. Are you still at Suniti?
I am awaiting at the gates for Dr. Valentine to exit.
Yes, they are still at Suniti.
I see. Could you perhaps tell Miss Harper to relate to the Suniti representative that this is a matter of high importance?
Indeed. Alice Harper, this is Dr. Mason.
Maybe could clear
So,
up for you again,
can you hear
Mr.
me?
Sloan.
Yes, I can hear
I
you.
don't want to be on bad terms with you on day one.
Agent Sloan would like you to...
You are not.
Relate to the Suniti representative that this meeting that Alice Harper, that
Good to know.
Dr. Alexandria, I believe it was. No, the Suniti doctor that we're waiting on. That this is an important meeting. They need to be at Valentine. Apologies.
Very well. So
The
tell
short
them
of
to
it
step
is
it up then?
that yes, the short of it is we need them ASAP.
Very well. I will let them know.
Thank you. The message has been sent to Dr. Alice Harper.
Very well.
Now, not to be, spicy with you either. But why exactly did, you know, Dr. Harper didn't seem to be as upset about certain decisions.
We are
Is there
en route.
something that I can prevent in the future from having that happen again?
Aye. You see, when I go into a project, I want to know exactly what I will be getting out of it and how much I need to put into it to do so. I'm a businessman, of course, and if I'm raking funds into a failing project, I'm sure you can understand where I will get antsy.
Well, funding isn't a problem here.
Indeed.
What is it that you want out of this?
We're Nirvana. We want business, and we want research.
Indeed.
Furtherance in the field, furtherance in the wallet.
Well, how good to know.
Mr. Sloan, I just got an update from Dr. Harper. They'll be on their way soon.
Excellent.
Pardon me, little bossy right now. I think that I will be on my way. Honestly, I can't believe that I was around for, this long as it were. And I will see you next week, and I'm excited to see the progress there.
Very well.
Sloan. Have a good day.
You as well.
Goodbye, Miss.
Take care of yourself.
Take me out.
Let's go.
And I do apologize.
Everything alright, mister?
Seems they're here.
I do apologize for the wait. I suppose I'm too
Something
late now.
happened.
Seems the fuse has run out. Thank you for your
I
hasty arrival.
apologize for making you wait. That was there's a lot of happening at Suniti right now.
Indeed.
What was that all about?
Mhm.
Miss Inessa?
That was our sovereign.
Indeed.
I hope I didn't test their patience too much.
To be honest, I think you have. Though they don't seem the patient kind.
Indeed.
Now, Miss Inessa, I greatly respect your skills. But do you... I hope that you know what you're getting into with this whole project.
I do.
Very well. I suppose it's clear by demeanor I'm not fond of this.
Come again.
What was that?
I'm not sure.
Need to get the speakers looked at.
Perhaps.
Indeed. As you say.
Yes, in any event, I am not fond of dealing with sovereigns.
Most don't seem to be. But that is understandable.
For good reason.
Reasons I am quite aware of.
In any event, it is getting late. And we've been here for a while. I won't keep you any longer.
Fair. If you wish to discuss the matter eventually further, you know where to find me.
Aye. So, thank you both for coming. We'll guide you out.
I think afterwards, Agent Sloan, Dr. Harper, I have some stuff to discuss with you two as well.
Very well.
Spot of trouble there.
Well. Once again, have a wonderful day.
Wonderful day.
You as well.
Inessa, may I talk with you?
Alrighty.
As for our business, I'd like to show you. Come to the lab with me. Well. There will be no need for any hazmat gears on the computer.
Ah, wonderful.
Everything has been sanitized. As we the data files right here. So, as you can see with this project, from the grown sample, I've grown them on these agar gel plates. And one in more of a suspension tube. Unfortunately, the tube did not grow much. However, the two plates have grown, as you can see on the photos here, in the microscope. They have been growing at a rather accelerated rate, about 20% of mass in only 20 minutes. I then tested it for. I then tested the effectiveness of our current fungal treatment for it, and the results were a bit disturbing. It seems that it did kill off some, but the fungal infection seemed to fight it off. A lower layer of skin seemed to form on top to try and counteract the fungal medicine. And I had looked at these in comparison to I looked at these samples in comparison to the original one under microscope. It seemed that the plated ones were growing quite faster, a lot of cell division in these plates. Whereas the one in the tube suspension seemed to be growing at a pitifully slow rate, so that one will show what not to grow it in.
I see. Excellent work.
However, for now, all the samples to prevent
Could you
any
tend to that?
unfortunate outbreak to prevent any unfortunate outbreak that may have happened during our meeting, considering the fast rate of growth. They have been disposed of properly in the incinerator, but with all this data we can easily replicate it, so long as we have some sample left.
Excellent.
And this is taken from only small scrapings of a sample. Shouldn't need much. However, if we are to look into this, I would suggest developing a much more stronger fungicide if we are to replicate it, considering what had happened.
Indeed.
Preliminary results.
Before more samples are made, I certainly want the cure to be.
Then, for now, I will focus more on this fungicide cure first, to ensure I can
Indeed.
handle our grown samples, to say the least. And don't worry, the entire area has been sanitized, and all the equipment and samples that have been in contact with the fungal spores have been thoroughly autoclaved and or incinerated as needed.
Very good. You've done exceedingly well work, Doctor.
Thanks, Agent Sloan.
This will certainly be useful for the future.
Indeed. But I think for now, it has been getting a bit late. No, and I'll see who's at the door first.
Aye.
I'm curious about this project with the Sovereign.
Indeed.
Searching a soul into synthetic.
Aye.
I want to essentially transfer into a synthetic body. Well then. We shall see how that works out.
It is something that we need to be very careful with.
What is that?
I said that it is something that we need to be careful with, the project. I agree with you that I have my doubts. Which is why we have been building in fail-safes to the synth body.
I see.
I'm going to improve those with Miss Harper as soon as I can speak with them. But we have a
I trust you to ensure that this will not end in that this will be successful.
Indeed.
At least if anything goes wrong, the fail-safes work.
Aye.
But let's just get back to it then.
Sloan. And who might you be?
Dr. Mason, biologist with Nirvana. It's good to meet you.
Oh, hello there.
What might your name be?
My name is Maru.
Maru.
Yes, if it's
It's a pleasure to meet you.
a hard name to remember, just think of the color.
Indeed.
But I'll leave you to it, Miss Alice. You can go ahead and inform these two what I just informed you about.
Very well.
I have a feeling Mr. Sloan have a pleasure learning about this.
Yes, they were also there when we witnessed it. Safe travels.
Indeed.
I see.
It would seem, I'm sure you remember, but when we were at Talaris earlier today, there was a very, very quirky guard. Turns out, they weren't a guard at all, and they happened to breach Talaris' labs and attempted to get into the lower offices before they were found out and chased away. If we are to find a out-of-place Talaris guard, we are to kneecap them and drag them back.
I see.
And this guard could possibly take on another identity of maybe even one of ours, so we should be double vigilant.
Indeed. Were there any details given about that? Any of what the individual might have been like underneath?
Nothing. Just what we saw earlier. And that could have been an act. They were very clumsy, if you remember. They set off the gate even as we approached.
There's a Talaris
As long
guard
as it
going
wasn't
right
an
there.
act, we'll definitely be able to.
What was that?
That was a Talaris guard.
Yeah.
It could have been Wodo, maybe. They're pretty close. But
With this
In any event.
information, should I
It is
keep- should I
noteworthy.
acquire myself a weapon too, or no? Okay. Anything like that.
I mean, you're free to carry one.
Yeah, well, I should be back to acquire one. But I believe we have some guests as well.
Indeed.
My apologies for the wait.
I'll be right back.
Who might you be?
I'm happy to. I am Ivor Tillman. I am a aerospace engineer for Sonidi. But I was hoping to come by for a personal request, possibly on Sonidi's behalf.
I see. And what might that be?
Could we speak in private?
Certainly. Right this way.
Even if it's just within the law. That's absolutely. I understand we made you wait a long time and I greatly apologize.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. Before we continue, I have a quick question. Have you spoken to a sovereign today?
And why would you ask that?
Because if it's a woman under the name of Genevieve Augustine, I know her, and I'm sure she'll be coming to us next.
I see. Is there something that we should know about this individual?
Stay on her good side.
I see.
That's the only warning I can give. But with that, shall we continue further?
Indeed.
I'd rather be out of the way of any possible explosions.
Would you perhaps know something about that?
Apparently went under the name Jenkins. Creature with black hair, somewhat short in height, about Amelia's height. Amelia's height.
Jenkins,
But that's
you
all
said.
the information. That is the name I
That
know.
was the name of the guard that was at Talaris today. That was, acting strange.
Well, I think we have a theme.
That is most curious.
Hello again.
Hello.
Greetings.
Now,
Greetings.
Would you prefer the boardroom or the offices?
Offices are closer. I'd rather not have us all walk back and forth for a brief.
My thoughts exactly. If it is brief, then this spot should work.
This should be fine. Ash? I won't hide this. I will be upfront. This individual here was Ash. Please. It's okay.
Can we get that?
Aye. Very well.
Very well.
He is my clone. It's been years. This is not a recent thing. This was back during the war. It was a safeguard for Sonidi's behalf. I make warships. Right. In case I died, they needed someone to be able to continue to make them. How it works internally, I'm not sure. I was pressured into signing into this agreement. An accident occurred. All the clones were wrote off as having died in this explosion. The destruction of a warp gate. And I didn't think I'd be able to see him again. But here he is, in Corvinus 3. That's why I'm here, but unfortunately, he only has about maybe a year left to live. Clones do not live very long.
Mrs. Sloan, if I may?
Aye. One moment.
It seems that Miss Ayla and Mr. Richard have come something about being certified. Or shall
Indeed,
we wait
that
for
was
them?
something that I requested.
Hmm.
Tell
Bring them and have
them...
them wait, or
Yes. Bring them in the main square and tell them to wait for 10 minutes.
I see.
Now.
I'd like to find a way to further his lifespan. He's done more than enough and gone through more than enough to be able to have a full life.
I see.
He hasn't been able to have. On behalf, we're willing to pay or find a way to make a deal, further business between Sonidi and Nirvana.
Indeed, this is certainly a project that I'd like to take interest in, but I have two questions up front. First being, you did mention payment. I assure you that, I'm sure that you should be able to afford such a procedure, correct? As this will be a leading front in research.
That is entirely fine. I would be able to fund it on my own, but Sonidi insists that they spearhead the payments.
I see. And my other point would be, were you involved at all or have any knowledge of how this initial cloning was developed?
I do not.
I see.
By the time my hands were filled, this was during the war when this process had taken place.
Aye. Do you know whose tech this was?
As far as I was aware, it was Nirvana, but I'm not sure entirely.
I see.
I was told to sign papers, and I signed them.
That certainly makes things more difficult, but I'm sure that we can tackle it. So, first things first, for a start on the project, I will need a sample of both of you.
Certainly.
Well, don't you already have of me, right? You took, blood, right? When I got
do have
my
a sample of you.
ID? Yeah.
Yes, there is a sample of you.
Perhaps, but for a more in-depth process like this, we will need more than simply blood.
Oh.
We will need some skin tissue samples as well.
I am fine with that.
What's that?
It'll be fine.
Okay.
They
Very well.
Perhaps something as simple as a cheek swab would be sufficient for the samples?
Perhaps. Let's head to the lab and see what we can do. In fact, could the two of you take care of this issue, and I will speak with Miss Ayla and Richard?
Very well, indeed.
Excellent.
Thank you. May I have your name?
Hi. Welby Sloan.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Sloan. I'm Ivor Tillman.
Very well. I look forward to business.
Thank you. I do as well.
And if I may, who was this individual over here?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
On the papers it says I'm Ashrin Nair. You can call me Ash. You were there when I was trying to get my blood work done, but
Indeed.
you dropped your tablet.
I don't know why it would not stay clipped in. That is unfortunate.
Very well. I won't keep you any longer.
Thank you very much, Sloan.
Ah. There you are.
Sloan.
Sorry for the wait.
Reporting for certification duty.
Indeed. Follow me right this way. Now, all in all, this process won't take an egregious amount of time, but it is something that needs to be, have its own moment. Right over this way, we'll have some, doctors that will run you through some various tests and see how your medical skills weigh up. You'll need to be properly trained, after all.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as you can clearly see, there are some individuals standing here that will be able to test you.
All right. All right. Hello. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. You want me to read? You want me to read what that says?
Aye. Along with the physical tests, there is the written test as well, ensuring that you know proper medical knowledge.
Okay. Sure. I guess well, you know, I did train and read a little bit, but I am nervous, I'll let you know.
Aye, that is why there is training involved.
Yeah. Where do I start?
Well, you will start by this screen right here. It will take you through a sort of learner's course for things. After that, the doctors themselves will speak with you for a bit. And once you have gleaned some of that knowledge, we'll have a practical test with a dummy over there. And then a little bit more to see how much you've gleaned. And after that, there will be a final test to see if you've soaked up the knowledge.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Okay. Thank you. I'll start watching.
Indeed. So, cards down. We can just skip this bit if you want.
Sure. How'd I do? Huh.
Well, I suppose that's up to a DM to decide.
True. Should I ping one?
Sure. As you can imagine, we can't just have a certified Nirvana doctor running around without proper knowledge.
I thought I was just being certified to heal. I didn't know that I had to be certified Nirvana. You didn't say that. I think I
Same
asked
difference.
twice and you said that you didn't have to. Okay. All right, if you say so. Where's the ping thing? I don't know if it's working. Do you want to try?
Okay, mine is working this time.
Should be working.
It's asking me because I have a DM.
I got it.
Not right
Yes.
now, Steven. Okay. We want to know how well Ayla did on her certification tests and stuff.
Okay, so the funny thing about that, Builder was doing that, however, he just crashed.
Hmm.
Oh no! Here's the thing. I literally know nothing other than what I googled last night because my magic doesn't work like clinical magic. I just go, BAM! You're good! You know what I mean? So I have no pluses. Probably.
Alright. My body's wigging out.
It was just a DNA test, right?
No. This is
It was like a... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're formally training her to be a certified Nirvana doctor, nurse, like the lowest tier possible.
Still confusing, but...
Yeah, so the test is what exactly?
It's a bit of training.
It's like an exam to know if, like, your like basic knowledge of, like, probably splint making, blood types, how things work when you, like, put different medications together,
Mhm.
like, stuff like that.
Basic
probably.
medical training.
Which I know nothing about. Because, once again, that's not how I work, and I'm pretty sure you know that.
Yep.
Builder says that he'll get here in a second. He just got back in. Let me
F
just
Okay.
minus.
I'm
Sure. No,
so
you're
sorry
good.
for this.
You're
Because
good.
he was doing it. He was doing it, but he crashed.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're totally good.
Oh, man.
Did you hear me angrily walking out talking about how I hate men? As Genevieve.
No.
I was like, I hate men.
I see.
Well, subconsciously,
You
like,
pissed her
I'm
off.
nervous because this character's name was just mentioned in your presence, and so now I'm here standing in front of you, like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what he's thinking right now.
Yep.
He's a sneaky boy.
Because as soon as Richard's name was mentioned, I don't know if you saw it, but my guard, I was like, I peeked in, like, excuse me.
Like, hello? Hello?
Did you s- Now I'm paying attention.
Okay, sorry, my VR chat died. I'm
You're
back.
fine. You're totally good.
Alright, so this is the medical certification.
Yes.
Yeah, which I know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah, I was in
So-
Nirvana Lab, so that's what I thought you guys were talking about, because they're doing stuff in there
Oh,
too.
yeah, no, that's the other thing. So basically, it's like basic medical training, and then after that, it's a test to see how well they got the knowledge.
Yeah, so you won't be able to get accomplish much in like not that long. You will be able to get basic stuff like basic CPR, like first aid, stuff like that. Like if you ever taken like a first aid like workshop or something, that's basically the info you'll get.
Okay.
But if you want to get more, training and possibly even further certification, you'd have to come back in further sessions.
We want to know how well I did on the first one, though.
All right.
Or just like guessing. I put C on every answer.
Roll for that one.
Yeah, no, you're following along pretty well. I mean, you do healing, so you kind of get it. You're more used to the magical side of it, but for some reason, some of it kind of transfers over. Like some of that like healing magic knowledge sort of transfers over to like medical knowledge.
How'd I do, boss? Well, maybe boss.
Well, it seems that overall you did fairly well.
Ooh. Well, that's surprising.
Indeed. So, it would seem for now that you are able to operate within Nirvana clinics.
Yay! And around the clinic?
That is the bad news that I have.
I know
I'm afraid that I was misinformed as to the exact form of things, and it turns out that certified Nirvana doctors are only able to operate within the clinics or on emergency trips.
Well, can I... Well, then who heals when people can't make it to the clinic?
That's what the emergency calls are for. Which, in addition, you will be given an official Nirvana radio.
Oh, Well, so, what you're saying is, I can't heal unless I'm in the clinic?
Or on an emergency trip.
Regardless of certification or not?
Indeed.
Right. Well, that seems a little unfair, Mr. Sloan, if I do say so myself.
Perhaps, but you will be paid whenever you do your healing.
But I don't want to be paid. I just want to do it.
Perhaps, but now you know for sure that you won't be hurting anyone in the process.
I suppose. Can we maybe not tell Talaris about this if it ever comes up?
Sure, that can be done.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't really have a choice,
Aye, it would seem. As the final step of the process, I'll need you to sign right here. This is simply an agreement that you have completed the course.
If I read it completely, is there anything dubious in it?
It also states that you cannot operate outside of Nirvana's laws and procedures.
I don't think I can sign this, Mr. Sloan.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to say that if you're unable to sign it, that you will be unable to perform your healing anywhere.
May I have a moment for
Certainly.
just to think about it? May I talk with my...
Certainly. Go ahead. Evil. Forge Fund being corporate. Nirvana can't have a random healer going around stealing their job and money. It's as simple as that.
Picks up pin. Finds.
A pleasure doing business with you. Congratulations, you are now certified.
Yay! I'll do my best to follow the rules, I guess.
Indeed. So, now, you will gain this Nirvana official radio. It's tuned into radio channel 25. In addition, you also get this official certificate, which will allow you entry into the clinic in either the Row or the Undercity, but of course under management, as you are only an affiliate.
Alright, good to know. I do have one question. Will you be charging for when I use my powers?
Charging who?
The victims or patients. Because that doesn't cost anything to use them.
Well, you see, to keep the clinic running, it does need to have payment.
Okay.
Indeed. With that, you are now cleared and ready to go.
Alright, do I guess I'll leave. Thanks.
Indeed. I'll guide you out. Should you have any more questions and concerns, simply bring them up to our HR department. Right this way. So, once again, thank you for coming to Nirvana. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Sloan.
Miss Ayla is now a certified practitioner for Nirvana.
Oh, wonderful.
Indeed.
Sounds great.
I'll fill in the details in but a moment.
All right, very well.
That flea is now out of our hair. They will not be stealing our money anymore.
Flea.
Miss Ayla, She's a magical practitioner that is able to heal. That was frequently going round the row in Undercity. They are now a pseudo-doctor. Indeed. She's only allowed to operate in the clinic and on emergency trips, and her patients will be charged.
I see.
Very good.
Indeed. So, how did things go with, I forget their name. What was it again?
It was Ash and, actually don't recall the lady's name. It was
Ash and Miss Tillman, if I remember correctly.
Aye.
Oh, no, Mr. Tillman.
Mr. Tillman.
Indeed.
Mr. Tillman, indeed.
Yeah, we got blood samples and, some
Skin samples.
swabs.
Yes.
And we're running tests on that now.
I see.
So, up next, I suppose we'll be putting research into if it's even possible to extend the life of a, clone.
Aye.
Along with some of
Might
the
not
other
even be
research
possible,
being
but
done, but...
half our job is to make the impossible possible.
Indeed.
Aye. In addition, this project, something that I would like to be kept to discretion. I'm sure you're both aware that we do not currently have those same cloning technologies anymore. We have lost whatever it was that allowed us to do so.
Quite frowned upon, I believe, these days.
Aye. But I'm sure that you both would agree that perhaps there is valor in finding out some information.
Indeed.
I'll leave it at that. We can discuss more in detail in a more private space.
Agreed.
Understood.
Ah, look at that. It's gotten very late.
Has it really?
I believe so.
Oh, it has.
It's been a busy day.
Well, I think we've run out of business meetings. We've had, what, maybe half a dozen?
Indeed.
More or less. Plenty of research has been done as well. So...
Aye.
Happens to be a good time to wrap it up for now.
Yeah, a lot of waiting time. I suppose we could retire and just... I could be on call, I guess, if there's some major medical emergency, but otherwise,
Indeed.
not much left to do.
Aye.
Maybe call it a little early and have a rest. We have a lot of work to do in the near future.
Indeed. But I'm confident that we'll turn up everything well. In any event, it's been a pleasure, the both of you.
Likewise. Another productive day.
Attention all role players. Attention all role players. You have 20 minutes to wrap up RP.
Well, look at that. I shall see you all
will be
later then.
doing their round fairly soon.
Aye.
I shall take my leave. You all have a wonderful
Indeed.
day.
Have a good evening. All right. It's getting close, but we have one last thing to do before I clock out. I suppose in some ways, yes. He is a cruel businessman, and he likes power. I'd say that little display with Ayla was probably the closest thing he has to fun. But we're going to see if we can make a second attempt at that footage.
GM here.
Alrighty. Is it possible for Sloan to make one more attempt at that footage for the end of the day?
You begin to make some progress. The first bit of the video and audio sound is somewhat good. Maybe not up to your full standards, but it's workable.
Alrighty. getting somewhere. Nearly there. Just a few more touch-ups. Alright. Time to head in. Yeah, there's those strong Umbrella vibes with the whole zombie stuff going on. It's certainly going to be an interesting thing in the future. And now the union's acting up now. Hopefully they're as much of a pushover as they were before. 'Cause Sloan very much does not respect the union. Ooh, bit of chugging. All right. Another excellent day, Sloan. You're getting there. Nearly. Boop.
Altruistic, but then shit happened behind the scenes with all that. And then Nirvana got totally crippled and all that.
Alrighty. I think it's about ending time now. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was certainly something. So, oh man, there's going to be some interesting stuff happening in the future for sure. So, with that, I'm going to say a good night for now. But thank you all so much for watching again, and I hope you have a wonderful evening and tomorrow. Au revoir.
Like my prank?
Were you the one that was the rogue guard by chance then?
Hey,